Happy 4th of July, people. This day means many different things, for better or for worse. To many different people in this country, we are privileged to call the United States of America. Many of us spent time with family and friends today, eating and having a good time, and watching fireworks to cap off the night. However, it seems as though Ryan Garcia saw fit to put on a fireworks display of his own today as well. You see, 2024 has been a wild roller coaster of a year, and the boxing world has been no exception. Ryan Garcia has become one of the most polarizing figures, not just in boxing, but in all of sports today. And recently, on July 4th, Independence Day, Ryan Garcia received a lot of scrutiny after one of the most spectacular social media meltdowns we have witnessed in quite some time. You see, Ryan Garcia made disparaging remarks on Twitter, now known as X, where he dropped various slurs regarding black people and Muslims with his epitaphs, earning him expulsion from the World Boxing Council, i.e. the WBC, via a statement by the president, Mauricio Suleiman. In particular, his comments regarding George Floyd, who was killed in 2020 by Minneapolis police, sparking nationwide outrage, included comments such as, "I hate ninjas," "I'm anti-black," "I'm the KKK." Hey, let's go bring George Floyd back to life and go kill that ninja again. Among many other responses, All the Smoke co-host Steven Jackson, former basketball player and a longtime friend of Floyd's, responded with a fiery tweet. He said, "Somebody tell Ryan Garcia, pull up to the 3rd Ward, Texas, and say that stuff again about G. Floyd and see what happens. When people bring up the dead, it shows who's really dying inside. Free game. It's a diff set of rules outside the ring, kid. Get some help before it's too late." End quote from Steven Jackson, July 4th, 2024. Furthermore, he said on his Instagram post, he elaborated on the get some help portion of that message. And Jackson said, "First, you go from taking steroids, then you're talking about digging George Floyd up and killing him again. Now you're talking about you hate ninjas and you just want to join the KKK. Look, dog, you need to get some help, bro, because we don't play by the same rules that you play in that ring, dog." End quote. And he said other things and whatnot, but you get the gist of it. And this isn't the first time he's had controversy this year, Ryan Garcia. Let's briefly go over this timeline and then circle back and further examine the firework display that King Ryan, not in the ring, the firework display that he put on in response to Steven Jackson's criticisms. He actually went on Instagram Live maybe a few hours ago and responded to Jackson and a list of other people. Well, let's go ahead and look at the timeline of some of the very bizarre behavior that we've witnessed out of him in 2024. And I'll preface this by saying, Cat Williams, I'm not trying to allude to the fact that this was in any way, shape, or form related to that interview he had with Shannon Sharp, but Cat Williams said that 2024 was going to be a year where a lot of truths came to light. Now I'm paraphrasing, but he said this is going to be the year where a lot of truths come to light, and you've seen it with Diddy, you're seeing it with Drake, with the whole Kendrick diss and all the things that came out from that, and then you're seeing it with all the things that Ryan Garcia said, good and bad, throughout the year. There's a lot of things going on. So starting with early in this year, February 29th, 2024, the beef with Jake Paul. Now, it started as, I guess, friendly banter. They're talking back and forth, just a little competitive, trash talk back and forth. You have competitive nature, that's how you are. But then it just got out of hand to the point where Jake Paul's like, "Hey, you're doing too much. You're looking for clout, and look, your footwork's blah, blah, blah. I don't really think you're a great fighter," and it escalated pretty quick. And then Ryan Garcia was like, "Hey, I do this for real, paraphrasing, come see me if you really want to smoke. We can make this real." So you have that whole thing with him going back and forth with Jake Paul, and that pretty much came out of nowhere. And then maybe a week later, March 5th, 2024, you see the tweets and the discussions about Bohemian Grove, which were later, and his story was later retracted, i.e. altered, in his interview on Valuetainment after the Haney win. And so that brings into question a lot of the things he was saying. Is it true? Is it not? Why bring these things up if you're not really, maybe your intentions are good, but why would you feel a need to alter the truth to try to get your point across? And fast forward to March 26th, same month, you have an old tweet that resurfaced where he predicted the Baltimore bridge collapse. So he mentioned, hey, be on the watch out for something on this day in Baltimore, and the bridge happened to collapse that day. So he's talking about Bohemian Grove, and then all of a sudden you have people pulling up old tweets, and it's really making it seem as though, hey, he foresaw these things coming. Maybe he knows things behind the scenes. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding him, to the point that people were hyped for the fight, but they were more interested in the storyline. It's almost like watching the WWF back in the day. Not like 2008. I'm talking about the old days with Monday Night Raw and Thursday Night SmackDown, when you had Stone Cold and The Rock and The Undertaker and Prime doing just wild stuff. Like, this is what this seems like. Like, the storylines are just bizarre, even bordering on the macabre. Fast forward 2 or 3 weeks later, you're a couple days out from the fight, and this is on April 16th. And the irony of this, he got into it not just with Devin Haney. They were supposed to throw out the first pitch at one of the Mets games, and they got escorted out. They got banned from throwing the first pitch, and they got escorted out because there was so much tension. They couldn't even keep it together for that long, right? And then on the same day, Ryan Garcia put out a tweet getting into it with Alycia Baumgardner. Alycia Baumgardner is very, very high level, very highly skilled female boxer. She's often mentioned in the same vein as Amanda Serrano. So she's sharp as shit. And so this is the article I'm reading. It's safe to say that Garcia and undisputed featherweight champ Alycia Baumgardner won't be sending each other Christmas cards. You see, Baumgardner was dismissive of the way that Ryan Garcia acts online. He's just always acting goofy. So she called him goofy. And then he responded back by saying, nah, what's goofy is you tested positive for steroids. And this was in reference to Baumgardner failing a test before beating Christina, whose last name I'm not going to butcher, in August of, 2023. And the irony for him getting positive results or adverse results, not just for Ostarine, but for norandrolone, or one of those steroid metabolites. That's just the irony of that, man. To be getting on her case, and she eventually got cleared. Nothing popped up dirty for her. That was the only thing she got knocked for, and her test reanalysis of the results came back negative, so she got off. Whereas Ryan Garcia, he got off for the steroids, but he didn't get off for Ostarine. So, you talk about lacking humility, lacking some type of, I would say, critical thinking skills, man. Like, think before you speak. Like, think about what the consequences and outcomes are going to be based off what you say, and see if that aligns with what the hell you're trying to accomplish. Like, what was the point of coming after her without having all the facts? But then you turn around and get mad at everybody else for wanting to bury you before you got the B samples tested. So you have to keep it consistent. So that's in April, before the fight. And then, mind you, he comes in overweight, as per the advice of Floyd Mayweather Jr. And people may get mad at Floyd, but hey, ultimately it falls on Ryan. He came in unprofessionally, and he might have been taking, or it would strongly seem like he was taking Ostarine as well. And maybe he got caught microdosing, and as he got closer to the fight, that was when it got harder to microdose effectively. These are very, very sensitive drugs, and you can't accurately predict the pharmacokinetics of a drug in real time when you're microdosing. That's you're kind of guessing. You may get very good at it to the point where you can fine tune things, but everybody slips up at some point. So the way it seems now is, hey, you pop dirty after criticizing somebody else who was eventually exonerated for the claims against her. So, the lack of humility. And then you talk about June, you think things cool down with him, and then it's something else with him. It's every month there's something with him. Every month. You look at June, he got a felony for vandalism at a Beverly Hills hotel, and he caused approximately, allegedly, about $15,000 in damages. Then in June, the win got overturned to a no contest, and he also got a year-long ban or suspension from boxing. He got his license taken away for a year off of this. This is no small matter. So I just want to circle back to the beginning, right? You just see this pattern of erratic behavior, and you have to wonder, is he mentally healthy? And this is something that I asked, I think back in March. I made a video about, is Ryan Garcia even going to make it to the fight? And the point that I was making in that video wasn't necessarily about, is he going to be ready physically, because I said that he was training hard. He seemed like he was locked in. It was more so he seemed like his soul, his spirit is just not at rest. It's not at peace. He's a troubled young man who's searching for direction. And that's dangerous when you are competent in other areas, but you are incompetent in the area of emotional control and discernment, knowing how to take your intelligence and apply it. That's called wisdom. It's no good having all this intelligence, all these thoughts and theories that may very well be valid, like you're saying, but you don't really know how to articulate yourself properly or explain the things you're saying in a way that people can digest it. You don't know how to disseminate the information properly. And then you turn around and you lash out when people give you a surprised look or raised eyebrows if they don't understand where you're coming from, right? And then you just keep repeating this cycle of incoherent babbling and social media posts, and people just get a thought in their mind that even if this guy is making a good point, I never know if it's real or if it's something that he made up in his fantasy. Like with the Bohemian Grove situation. Yeah, those things happen, but did you see those things? You weren't there? You saw a video? Was it a video online, or did somebody give it to? Like, all these questions. You create this open loop where people have to fill in that gap in logic and reasoning with something, and that just gives people a space to create their own narrative. And once people do that, it's over. So he needs somebody in his ear, kind of like Steven Jackson said, to really pull him aside and say, yo, young man, listen to me. I need to talk to you, because right now you're moving really reckless, and you need direction from somebody who's possibly been there before that can tell you where you're messing up and what it's going to lead to. So, circling back to the Instagram post, it seemed as though Ryan Garcia learned absolutely nothing from the things that Steven Jackson said and the criticisms that other people said in response to his statements. This is what Ryan Garcia said on live stream. I'm assuming Instagram or maybe Twitter, whatever. And he said, "You ain't gonna catch me apologizing for nothing." And this is in response to what he said earlier and people's criticisms. "None of you guys are real and do anything in person. You're internet gangsters. I really want everybody to come try me." And that's Ryan Garcia's response. But his parents, they said, "Our family unequivocally does not support any statements he has made regarding race or religion." Very simple and to the point. Look, I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes with Ryan Garcia, but I think it's pretty clear that he's a young man that's, like I said, looking for guidance and direction, or he needs guidance and direction. And I really hope that God speaks to his heart first and foremost, but more importantly, somebody that he respects and that he'll listen to says these things to him. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and stay safe out there. Enjoy your holiday, and catch y'all next time. Peace.